Good morning, Scouts. It's Michael de los Santos, Scout Executive for the Alamo Area Council, headquartered here in San Antonio, Texas. It's a special day. It's March 5th. It is Palm Sunday, but it is also Pancake Sunday for me. My wife and I, Elizabeth, we make these pancakes every Sunday morning, and I want to share that recipe with you here. So you can see in my hand, I have my pancake spatula ready to go. I don't use any of these little small ones because they're hard to flip. I like to use my spatula here. And just a reminder, I like to put my temperature at about medium heat on the burner, and I do use cast iron. So as we're spending so much time at home these days with COVID, I just thought we can share this recipe with y'all, and you can share this recipe with your parents and your family. Maybe one morning you can surprise them. Just be safe in the kitchen. Action!
Okay, this morning we're going to make pancakes the way Michael likes them. And we're doing a half of the recipe. So the recipe that's posted is the full recipe, but we're only 2 people. So start with a full cup of white wheat flour.
Can you use regular flour, all-purpose flour too?
Yes, you can.
But why do we use whole wheat flour?
Try to make it a little healthier.
That's right. But whole?
Just slightly.
Right.
So I mix all the dry ingredients first and then all the wet ingredients, and then we put them together. So a cup of flour and a teaspoon of baking powder. And because we're using wheat flour, I always like to throw in a little extra of our rising agents. It's not very precise, but it's something to help make the pancakes fluffy. So, and then a half a teaspoon of baking soda. Baking soda's in here. And again, I put in just a little extra. And that's it for your dry ingredients. Very easy. Let's set that over here. So for the wet ingredients, again, we're doing a half of the recipe. So 1 egg, which I just use a fork to whip. Then we add a cup of buttermilk.
And that's already been pre-measured, correct?
Yes. And if you don't have buttermilk, you can always put some lemon juice into your milk and let it sit for a while and stir it up. It'll kind of start reacting with it and make it a little more tangy, kind of like buttermilk. So mix those together and then add our oil, and you can use canola oil or grapeseed oil or any light oil that's not going to add any flavor. So the partial recipe is 1/8 of a cup and a teaspoon of oil, which again I've also pre-measured. You want to incorporate this as best you can. And if you have a small whisk, you could also use that. I'm just using a fork because everyone should have one of those on hand. And that's really it.
Okay, so we're ready. She's handed me over the wet ingredients and the dry ingredients. So what I'm going to do is put this fork in a dirty dish over here. Then I'm going to put my batter, my wet ingredients in here to make the pancake batter. And sometimes the the batter may be a little too thick. So you can always add a little bit more buttermilk or just a little bit of regular milk. But I think this batter is just about the right consistency for some really good pancakes. So what I like to do is let it sit for a little bit so the wet ingredients and the dry ingredients can react with each other a little bit. We'll come back. So just a quick note, I did add a little bit more, just a very little milk, a regular milk, just to make it a little bit easier to pour. All right, so we're ready to make our pancakes. What you want to do is make sure that whatever you're going to be using to cook your pancakes, whether it's a cast iron skillet, a nonstick skillet, or one of those electric plug-in griddles, you want to make sure your surface is hot. And some of those electric griddles may already have a predetermined dial on it for pancakes. You're going to get nice and hot and oil the surface. I use a paper towel to kind of put a thin coat of oil on there. And a well-seasoned cast iron skillet like this will not stick. So that's coming along just fine. Shake a little bit. So you want to do, once it's a nice consistent temperature, it's probably about a minute per side for these pancakes. They will bubble up a little bit. And you want to watch the edges as well. Once the edges get a little more cooked, you'll see the difference. You'll want to flip them at about, like I said, about a minute. We got about 40 seconds. You can see a few bubbles there. "30 seconds. Now, Scouts, you may not have any pancake mix already in your pantry. There's various brands out there, but if you have some of these simple ingredients, all-purpose flour, white wheat flour, baking soda, baking powder, some eggs, you can make yourself some really good homemade pancakes. And once again, if you don't have buttermilk, you can use vinegar or lemon juice to sour your milk a little bit and thicken it up. Okay, we're at a minute. It's a nice color. You're going to see it rise there a little bit. We're going to go for another minute here, or 45 seconds. I'll show you that here once we lift it, how it got some nice rise to it, nice and fluffy. Another 20 seconds. Five, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So this one's got some nice color to it. I like to make sure that it's cooked. And you can see here how thick that one got. Nice and fluffy. So here's the final product. My pancakes are done. You can have these with syrup. I like to butter mine and then put the syrup on. You can put jam, whatever you like to eat with your pancakes. You can have a side of eggs, bacon, hash browns. I usually have 2 eggs with mine, but here's my short stack of 3 nice fluffy pancakes, and I am enjoying these with some Scout's own maple syrup. You can find the syrup at scoutshop.org, www.scoutshop.org. And this special syrup that is being sold by the Scout Supply, it comes to us from Lake Erie Council in Cleveland, Ohio. And the maple trees are located on Beaumont Scout Reservation. So they harvest the maple syrup, bottle it, and sell it throughout the country to scouts like us. So enjoy, and I can't wait to get my fork into this. Hang on. So here I am. I got my pancakes and my 2 eggs over easy, and my nice cold glass of milk, along with a fresh fruit salad that my wife made. So let's try them. Mmm. Delicious. Cheers. Enjoy your pancakes. Bye.